Hello everyone and welcome to the Sandy Jones Show with me, Sandy Jones, and today we're going to do the last review for this season, the last match review. It was Chelsea's 2-1 win at home to Bournemouth on the final day of the season. And I can't believe that I've got such a great thing to say in this video. We have made 6th place. We've reached Europe, and I just absolutely can't fathom how far away that felt even a couple of months ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, when we got thrashed at Arsenal. I was like, there's no way this team is going to get anywhere near the top 6, and yet here we are. Before we get properly into the video, I just want to say thanks again to all the subscribers who've tuned in to the videos so far on this channel. There's going to be loads more to come. Obviously, it's the end of the season now in terms of the club football, the Premier League and so on. But I'm going to be following the Euros. I'm in Germany. I'm going to be at the fan zones in Berlin. So stay tuned for lots of content around then. And also, we are the best team in the Premier League, in Europe, probably around the world, to watch during the transfer period because of all the activity, people going in, people going out. This last game was obviously Thiago Silva's last game, but we've also got a few other players who might have played their last ever game for Chelsea. We've got Conor Gallagher, we've got Thiago Silva, some others, who knows who's going to be coming in. We've got these incredible wonder kids coming from Palmeiras, Pais and Estevão Willian, which looks almost like a done deal. So there's just so much to talk about. I've heard that there's also players being put on sale, and there's a lot of drama with that in mind. So definitely stay tuned over the summer. I'm going to keep posting, keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking the videos, and get involved. Thanks for watching. So let's start with the match review then. This was a important game for us. We really had to win this game because the destiny for the end of the season was in our hands. Going into the last day, we knew that if we were going to get a 6th place spot, all we had to do was to make sure that we won our game, which was to beat the team that was in front of us, Bournemouth, spearheaded by the once Chelsea hopeful Dominic Solanke, who's finally come good this season. And again, a theme that keeps coming back on this channel is the ex-players scoring against Chelsea and vice versa. So I was very nervous that they've got that guy who's actually firing on all cylinders up front. But it was a very emotional atmosphere. From what I saw, there was a lot of fanfare. There was a big tifo display for Thiago Silva from the shed end, which was really nice. And there was definitely a sense of like a buzz around the stadium for people on the last day, knowing that we've just turned around completely and have a good chance to qualify for Europe. Thiago Silva making his 155th appearance for Chelsea. Now that actually, you can look at it either way. Is that a long time or is that a short time? It feels like not that long ago that he joined. But then again, so much has happened in that time. We had obviously the whole shutdown and all this kind of chaos a couple of years. We won the Champions League. We finished 12th, I think it was, last season, and everything in between. And Thiago Silva has just kind of been this stronghold, this rock that we've had in our team throughout all of that turbulence. The Lampard return and the Potter failure and so on. So it's just been really great to have someone that experienced and that good. And I've been watching football for a very long time. I can remember when Thiago Silva was a young man, you know, in Italy, playing for AC Milan, and he left them a legend. He went to PSG to do, you know, I would imagine like to go to a club that hasn't won the Champions League in order to help them try to win it, to do that kind of a move. A little bit less than perhaps lateral, more like a little bit slightly lower to lift them up. And that's what I was thinking at that time. Oh, wow, Thiago Silva's gone to PSG. That's a great coup from them. Really cool that they've got this, you know, this legend towards the end of his career. And then he comes to Chelsea and just is absolutely incredible. Like, I don't know how this guy still has the pace and the wherewithal. There's been so many times this season where he's the one that's trekking back and bombing across the field to make that last-ditch tackle. I absolutely love Silva, and it's going to be such a shame to see him leave. What an incredible player. Shout out as well to Cole Palmer, who was named the Young Player of the Year this year in the Premier League. I'm really glad that he got that recognition because we finished top 6, which is a great result. But often when they're picking those, young player and player of the year, they usually pick them from the team that's won or the team that came second. So really great for him to get that, absolutely deserved. Had he scored another 5, 6, 7 goals and actually been the Golden Boot winner, I wonder if there would have been a shout, or that there would have had to have been a shout for him to win Player of the Year. So Young Player of the Year is fantastic for him. I think he was this close to getting a nomination for Player of the Year. Makes sense that it goes to a City player. They've been absolutely unbelievable. They've won the league. It was tight in the end in terms of points, but it was never in doubt. These guys are they're the best team at the moment. The league doesn't lie. They are by far the best team. And actually, we need them to do us a favour and to beat Man U to ensure that we stay in the Europa League and don't get the conference. I think that's how it works. If I've got that wrong, let me know in the comments. So, during the first part of the game, we had a couple of good chances. We were breaking with speed. We had one where Nicholas Jackson weaved his way through a few players, got to the opponent's penalty box, just kind of took it wide, which is something that he seems to do quite a lot. I wonder if that's something that he can either adapt, change, or find a better way to do to deal with those situations. He does often seem to kind of get into the right position and then shift a little bit wide. So the angle to take the shot on's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The defender has a chance to cover as well. And you either really kind of have to flick it to someone else or score an absolute worldie. So it was good to see him kind of break through, but I want to see him do some better decision making next season. We also had another chance, Sterling running through. He got a start because of obviously the concussion injury to Mudryk, and we're a little bit short on the squad. I was quite happy to see him, to be honest. Final game of the day, let's give him a run out. Maybe it could be his last Chelsea game, who knows? If there was one player that we could offload in order to make a bit of a financial windfall and not actually upset the balance of the team too much, as I would probably say Sterling is the one that I would do. Perhaps Chilwell, although we're quite light now on the left side. But if we could bring in someone and give us a bit of depth on the left-hand side, then maybe Chilwell and Sterling would be the two that I would move on. And, going with this ethos of longer contracts on lower wages, those are the two that kind of stick out, especially Sterling. Sterling's just on like an astronomical wage in comparison to everyone else. And sorry, my cat's just going mental with something. Oi, stop. Okay. Sterling is like that. That's not very. The meritocracy of that doesn't really work in this new strategy from the club. So if we're going to do this, we need to probably get some money from players. I would prefer if we did it with Sterling and Chilwell, the likes of, rather than these young, hungry lions that are actually affecting the team and being a really, I wouldn't say absolutely irreplaceable, but for certain an integral part of our, especially the success towards the end of this season in Chalobah and Gallagher and the likes. So anyway, bit of a tangent. Sterling runs through, flicks it over to Palmer, who does a silky turn, gets it on his left and just swings it past the post. But already we're thinking, wow, we're starting well. We're probably going to score. Where's it going to come from? That was my thought. And I don't think anyone predicted where the goal would come from, the first goal. It is an absolutely sublime goal. One of the best, probably, Stamford Bridge has ever seen from a player in a blue shirt. It's a breakaway from our defence, flick towards Sterling. He has the pace almost to get there, but not quite. The keeper comes out of his box, flicks it away from Sterling. The ball lofts to just across the halfway line onto our side of the pitch. Caicedo takes the ball, and How many times have you seen this where a player gets the ball in the middle of the field and the keeper's out of position? The whole crowd goes, shoot, they hoof it, it goes out for a throw-in or a corner kick to the other team, absolutely miles off. I've seen one or two shots from that kind of distance that have gone in ever in person. And this one was one that, I don't know, there's just something that's so slick about it, because he takes the ball and just absolutely wellies it. He took one step into the opponent's half, so it's not quite in his own half, but it's on the halfway line or just after, and it just lofts through. I think every defender, every Chelsea player just knew immediately, the keeper knows, everyone knows just from how sweet he struck that ball, it goes right into the top corner from the halfway line, and we're 1-0 up. Caicedo scores his first goal for Chelsea, his first official goal. He scored one at Spurs away, the game we won 4-1, but it was disallowed. And this one was special. I'm thinking like the few that come to mind that were similar, I saw this at Stamford Bridge, was Charlie Adam banging one in from his own half for Stoke against Chelsea. I remember seeing on Match of the Day back in the day, it was Manuel Figueroa for Wigan. He got a free kick, took it quickly and just hoofed it from his own half. Slightly different. But this eye to think, I've got a split second of chance here, let's just go for it. And of all people, Caicedo, who hasn't scored this season, who's had detractors the whole year about the price tag and how expensive he was and that he's a flop, which is just absolutely nonsense to me. He's been very, very good this season. He's got progressively better as the season's gone on. And he's become an absolutely integral part of our team. I wouldn't pick anyone else in that defensive position. Also, I've said this in other videos, that he is someone who looks forward. He's someone that knows how to get the ball towards the opponent's goal. He's not just an out-and-out defender. So I think this guy is class, and he showed it in every second of that play. What a goal, what a moment, and that's just absolutely exactly what we needed. Not a lot more happened in the first half. We had one more good chance that was lofted through again towards Sterling. He actually got on the end of it, but unfortunately was a little bit too heavy with the shot and it went over the bar. There was one good attack for Bournemouth there in that first half. A cut inside from the right-hand side, Tavernier onto his left foot, but it was nicely saved by Petrovic. So we go into the halftime, 1-0 up with an absolute wonder goal. Happy days. And then in the second half, we see again the best side of Raheem Sterling. I said earlier in this video that he might be one of the players that I would ship off, but he has got an occasional bit of class in him, you know. I just wish this guy could live up to the billing of what we had hoped he would be. But unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out for him. But this was great. It's just so good to see him, especially if this is going to be his last Chelsea game. He breaks on the left-hand side. He does his silky dribbling, which he often tries, but it usually doesn't work out. He goes up a road where there's no other options, and he loses the ball, or he gets challenged and whatever it is. It doesn't quite usually, or hasn't this season, come to much when he's gone on these kind of mazy runs. Not since the first third of the season, he had a couple of good moments like that. But this one just shows, he's dancing around the defenders, their sixes and sevens. He cuts it right into the danger area, and because of that good play, he forces the own goal. It's basically a Raheem Sterling goal. And at this point, I'm thinking we're cruising 2-0. Let's see this game out. Let's win it 3 or 4-0. There's probably not going to be any weird surprises or reasons to be stressed, right? And there we go. A little bit of the Chelsea of the first half of the season. So frustrating and unlucky. Another clean sheet that we couldn't achieve. Bournemouth were on the ball. Their player cuts inside, has a decent shot, but it takes a monstrous deflection off the defender, Badiashile, and flies into the corner past Petrovic. 2-1, we were only 2-0 up for a few minutes, and I'm now thinking, oh God, the script is perfectly written for Solanke to get that last-minute equaliser and to make it 2-2, to haunt us like Hudson-Odoi did. But let's hopefully get another goal and see the game out. How did it pan out? And there he is, Solanke. He had a really good chance from the right-hand side, a shot cutting across the goal, and the goalkeeper, Petrovic, stretched as far as he could, didn't get to it, but luckily the ball went straight past. The collective inhale from the crowd was palpable because, my God, Solanke was this close to scoring and making it 2-2. We had a really good chance to wrap it up after that. We won the ball up in the last third of the pitch, which is again something that we've been doing really well in this streak of wins in the last few games. We get the ball, I believe it's Jackson who won it back, and there's a little bit of a interplay, and then we lost the ball, but Gallagher comes in from deep, picks the ball up on the edge of the box, kind of rounds a player, sort of, sees the defender come and sort of goes around him. Could have crossed it, but I think it's fair enough for him to take the shot at that point, given that he's created that chance from nothing. And he's absolutely pounded it with his foot. Keeper saves, still 2-1. I'm just thinking, oh my God, let's secure this, please. And then that's it. This is the moment. This is the moment I was dreading the whole game. I think everyone could feel that something like this was coming. Semenya from the Bournemouth team, who was a decent player during the match, he goes down the right-hand side, cuts inside. There's a bit of, again, like a sort of a loose ball situation. No one really had full control of it. There was a shot. Petrovic saves. Then who's coming up on the rebound? Dominic Solanke. He's got pretty much a whole goal to aim at, and he skies it. Thank God for that. The whole crowd's like, way. He's like looking at the sky. I can't believe it. This is a player who never quite came good. We really, really wanted him to come good. He reminds me a little bit of what we would see from this year's Broja. You know, Armando Broja, he's still on the books, went to Fulham. I think he's played like 4 games, all as sub, no goals. You know, like he's just not, it's something's missing. I bet you that these guys can absolutely tear it up in training. I bet you they're really, really good at football. And, they're going to be quality players for someone at some point. Like Solanke, he scored 20 goals this season for Bournemouth. He's been absolutely great for them and against some of the big teams too. But there you go. That's the moment. It's like, well, come on then. Are you going to do what Hudson-Odoi did and actually bury this chance? Or are you going to sky it? And luckily for us, the footballing gods were looking down on Thiago Silva's last day and said, look, Dominic Solanke will not score against Chelsea. What a touch. And that's it. It was full time, and the sense of relief around all the Chelsea fans around the world is that we are in 6th place. We're going to Europe. City need to beat Man U to prevent us from going to the Conference League. But to be fair, if we go to the Conference League, let's go to the Conference League and win it. We've won the Europa League the both times that we've been in the Europa League, so let's make it 3 out of 3. And it was so nice to see the players doing their lap of honour. Again, Pochettino just runs straight down the tunnel. He said afterwards, yeah, I had to get into the press conference and stuff, but not even a little, nothing to the fans. How do I feel about this? I don't know. It's like, I think I've said it in the last few videos, my stance hasn't changed. I would give him the summer, and I would give him the preseason, and I would give him 5 or 6 games next season. I haven't seen what I need to see to ensure that I'm strong in the opinion to say 100% Poch in, let's keep him 1 more season, then a new contract. Let's give him, more weight to decide the players that come and go. Let's really back this guy. I like that we signed him for 2 years, and at the end of this 1 year, given the fact that we've had this massive turnaround in the last 4 or 5 games, I think he's done enough to survive, perhaps. But I'm not one of these Chelsea fans that's hyping him up and saying, "God, he's finally come good and Poch in 100%." I'm not quite there yet. I don't think that we should sack him right now, to be honest. I think it would be a mistake to go with another unproven person and start again, start this whole process of gelling the team. The players seem to play for him, but I just wish that he would give us a little bit more. I wish he would give us a little bit more. you can't be the only person involved in the whole club across the players and the staff that doesn't applaud the fans once in the entire season. That just seems to me like it's a bit petulant. It seems to me like a little bit. I mean, that's contrived. He knows he's doing that. He's purposefully putting up this wall, and that's something I've mentioned in this other video of like in the first half of the season where he's just sitting there like this, we're losing 3-0, and he's like doesn't move. He changed his tactics. He finally implemented some in-game management. He's on the touchline doing these things. Things have improved over the season, but I just want to see him throw a little bit of an olive branch out to the fans, and also to be a little bit more gracious and grateful around the club. Again, can't knock him for the turnaround. It's been absolutely great to see what this squad has in terms of potential actually realized, and I hope that if we have a good the players have good tournaments, the Euros and the Copa America, they come back, they've got a good preseason, we make the right decisions in the transfer window, don't sell our best assets, don't just buy inexperienced youngsters, and then next season, hopefully with no injuries or low injuries, we can really hit the ground running and hopefully make top 4. That would be a great outcome for next season. But I just want to see a little bit more warmth from Pochettino, because I think the fans have certainly turned, at least the majority of them have. So you just kind of want to see that as a more of a symbiotic thing. But anyway, that's enough about Poch. Thiago Silva, he got a guard of honor. He came out and he did a farewell speech in English, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, most of his the vignettes, these videos that they showed of him, you know, reflecting on his years at Chelsea and his love for the fans and all that, have been in Portuguese. So I was wondering if he would maybe just still do it in Portuguese if he did get the microphone. But he was on the mic. He was what a gentleman, what a class act, and what a incredibly difficult thing it is that we're facing now to replace him. You know, I feel like he kind of stepped into the John Terry shoes. Who's going to step into the Thiago Silva shoes? I think our best bet, honestly speaking, is Trevor Chalobah. Homegrown English talent, young, versatile, doesn't usually let down the team, always plays decent, can play any of the back 3 positions as centre back, and also the 2. He can also play right back. So I just think if we really give him the chance to become a more of a leader and more of a talisman, that would be a great outcome. But given the way that the transfer structures have been planned over the last few windows, and also the fact that he's now, I think, from yesterday, I saw he was listed as a £25 million sale opportunity, which I think is just criminally low. It's very low. 25 million in this day and age is absolutely nothing for a young English defender, like homegrown, who has so many years already in the club, already, you know, been part of it. Several years left on his contract. I think that's just a really low amount to sell him for. I'd much rather we move on some of the older players like Sterling or Chilwell. So my cat's happy. I'm generally happy. We made it to 6th place. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the season, look, this is going to be a transition year. You're going to have an absolutely crap first half of the season, but things are going to turn around. And by the end of it, you're going to reach... Hello. You're going to reach 6th place and have a guaranteed spot in Europe, whether it be the Europa League or the Conference. I would have bitten your hand off. I think most Chelsea fans would have too. So can't really complain. If you can look at it kind of positively and negatively this season. Positively thinking, it's like, wow, we were in a really bad way 2-3 months ago, and the team have gelled together. The injuries have subsided. The managers implemented some in-game tactics, some different use of the players, like inverting Cucurella and so on. So from match 32 or so, we really came together and we rescued our season. That's the positive way of looking at it. The negative way of looking at it, and perhaps a more realistic way of looking at it, is we really struggled in the first half of the season because of injuries, because of the lack of tactical know-how perhaps or confidence to use certain tactics. We dropped way too many points against teams that we should have been beating. We had winning positions probably 5 or 6 times that we should have held on to. Draws killed us this season. And then towards the end of the season, those big ones like Sheffield, Burnley dropped points. We were unlucky with a couple of big VAR decisions, like the one at Villa Park. If just a few of those things had been different, we might have got the top 4, which makes me almost rue the fact that it took 34 matches to get to the point where we were actually using this squad to the best of its ability and actually setting up a team to win a game and to attack in a game and not just try and defend a 1-0 lead, which we saw so many times. So as a Chelsea fan, given where we were last season and where we were even 6 months ago, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty positive with this season. We've got another European tour next year. We've got a chance, more games for these players to gel together and so on. An exciting transfer window to come up. The Euros, the Copa America and all that over the summer. Great. But I would like to see more. I'd like to see how this team gels with no injuries. If we give Pochettino the first half of next season or the first few games of next season, see how that all pans out. So there we go. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, I know that the Chelsea season is over. The Premier League is over for this year. We've hit 6th place, but we've got the Euros, we've got Copa America, and especially for the Euros, I will be in Germany, I will be in Berlin, at the fan zones, talking to fans, soaking up the vibe, and I'll be posting some content around that. So please stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for all the transfer madness. If we make any big signings or any big players leave, I'll definitely make some content around that. And after all, I just want to say thank you so much to the people who've subscribed so far. It's been an absolute pleasure making these Chelsea videos for you. So keep an eye on this channel for more Chelsea related content, football related content, and also other stuff. Man in the street videos, reaction videos, comedy podcasts with colleagues and friends of mine. And I can't wait to share more stuff with you. So thanks again for being part of it. If you haven't already and you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe and forever follow the channel. Thanks a lot. Win or lose, up the blues. See you next time.